There's no words to say this, but welcome to episode 8 or 7. I got the numbers wrong already, probably. But this this week's episode is gonna be a tough one, mainly for me. Um, and there's no way to say this because I'm skipping all the intros and all that bullcrap and who we are and all that stuff. If you don't know, Ricky, Isaac, all that stuff. Um, May 25th, 2020 is a day that none of us should forget. In all honesty, besides the fact that it was Memorial Day that day too, um, a a black man died with a white police officer having his knee on his neck, and he died of murder by asphyxiation as the autopsy was performed for that. And for the last 4 days, we haven't seen nothing but riots, protests, tear gas thrown all over the place, and so much things. We've people talking so much stuff, whether it's good, bad, craziness, conspiracy theories. And then as of today, Monday, June 1st, our president has technically declared martial law
I did not know that one, actually.
and all that stuff. So I'll jump to this now. He talked. He finally spoke after everything while being in his bunker for the weekend, and pretty much he is saying like if states don't do their business of getting this fixed, he will send the military. He is pretty much declaring military on all these states. And what's more funny about this, while he's talking, there's tear gas being thrown. You can hear tear gas being thrown in the background. And it is at peaceful protesters, not no crazy rioters and bullshit that from the crazy stuff that we've seen and loiters and all that stuff. If I said that word correctly. Anyways, he's literally telling after 2 months of being scared in a bunker and all that stuff, when people are protesting outside of the White House and everything, he comes out and says like he will send military towards these people. He doesn't acknowledge the fact of peaceful. He said he's an ally of peaceful protest, but I call bull on that and all that stuff. And that's because of Colin Kaepernick. And I'll say, that's all I'm gonna say. But anyways, this is a very tough topic for me right now. Because I'm half black. I'll say that right now, and all that stuff. Have I experienced what most of these black people have gone through? Honestly, no, and all that stuff. But for the fact that nothing has changed for how black people are being treated is very goddamn despicable. It hurts me. It really does. And all that stuff. It makes it fears for my own life every time I hear stuff like this. And I'm just like, what the hell? What the hell?
Yeah.
And Isaac, I'm gonna let you talk because let's get your feelings on what's been happening, all that stuff with all George Floyd murder, the police, the protests, the riots, the looting, and all that stuff. Let's get your couple cents into this and everything like that.
Honestly, it's this what's been going on. It's been just a ticking time bomb. There's been too many incidents of white officers gunning down or killing African Americans when unarmed or when they're restrained.
Mm-hmm.
We've been seeing it ever since the LA riots, and the only way Rodney King's persecutors were even persecuted was during the LA riots. They had a riot in order to have some sort of justice to be served. And I've been seeing a lot of posts, about how a lot of many people were trying to do peaceful protests, uh, such as Colin Kaepernick kneeling, or or anything else as a form of peace. But it just seemed as if um, it just seems as if nothing changed, nothing was heard, none of their voices weren't heard, and now it sucks because now you had everyone had to take it to through violence. And I'm not saying that's all protesters. I think there's peaceful protesters who
Mm-hmm.
I stand with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'll always stand with peaceful protesters. I think they have a right to protest. They have a right of freedom of speech. They can protest, and I stand with them. And honestly, I'm not black at all, but I am Hispanic, and Hispanic people have suffered, um, suffered, racism as well. When Donald Trump was all about, putting ICE was coming after people's homes, putting Hispanics in cages. That was like just a horrific time itself. Um, all ethnicities have suffered racism in this country. But more harshly, Black people have been more profiled than anyone else in America. Um, and I want to say that because a friend pointed out to me today. He said that, if you seen a black guy walking down the street, automatically people are thinking that's a thug, he's a gangster, he's up to no good. If you see a Mexican walking down the street, you're just thinking he's going to work, or people have these racial profiles going through their heads. But it's sad to see that, yeah, a lot of people, when they see a black man walking down the street, they think he's up to no good. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's just sad in itself. And I have many friends that are different ethnicities, and you know what I'm saying, and I've seen and I've felt the pain of of black friends that are close to me that have shared their pain about racial profiling and um and things that have happened to them. I want to share a story of mine. I never really faced racism before, not really hardcore racism, Uh, and when so my story is that I was working at my job, Able Charter. I worked for a school, and I was helping middle schoolers go down to the playground. It's like through an alleyway, and so we had all these middle schoolers were going down, and this car was coming, and I waved my hand like, stop, you slow down, wait, because these kids are gonna go. And so finally, the kids make it down the alleyway into the playground, and it was crazy because this white lady literally pulls up to me and was like, "Why did you raise your hand at me?" And I was just like, I said, "Don't you see there's kids?" She's like, "We Americans don't run over kids." And I was like, "Hey man, get out of here with all that bull." You know what I'm saying? Like, don't ever talk to me like that, dude. I was heated. I've never ever had anyone do that to me. You know what I'm saying? And for a white old lady woman, come up to me and straight up be like, "We Americans." I'm like, "What do you mean by we Americans?" You know what I'm saying? I'm American too. I was born here. You know what I'm saying? And so she was just all about like, "Well, I'm gonna write you up, and I'm gonna have the police come down here." And I was like, "How the police come down here?" I said, "We're out of school, bro. Like, we're out of school. I think they will trust a security guard out of school more than you." Because I raised my hand because I was like, "Slow down, dude." I've never in my life shook so hard in hatred when someone did that to me. I never had racism come at me like that, but when I experienced it, just a taste of it, dude, that really shook me. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And so I can't imagine, what I'm saying, the hurt and pain that the African American community is feeling, because I think this is the last straw that broke the camel's back.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like how much more is how much many more black men are gonna have to die? You know what I'm saying? And I think it's just You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with the violence, you know what I'm saying? But
Oh yeah.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that it took this turn. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Like it's
And
nothing
but
better to say.
I do want to point out is that those that are not African American and are vandalizing should stop. You know what I'm saying?
Don't get me started.
Because I see a lot of white people, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make this a whole racial thing, but it is already a racial thing. But a lot of white people are like vandalizing stores, tagging it up, saying Black Lives Matter. I'm just like, yo, if you keep doing that, you're gonna think, and the media is gonna take that and turn it around, saying all these black people are vandalizing stores and tagging up stores, and they didn't even do it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I'm just like, y'all make, I'm saying they're kind of making the cause worse. And it's funny because I saw a video with John Jones taking two spray cans from like two white kids. It was hilarious. Like he came up, he's like, "Give me your spray cans, give me your spray cans." If John Jones is asking for your spray cans, I'm gonna just give him my spray
Just give
cans,
it to
no
him.
questions asked.
No,
It's
even
John Jones.
even if he is on crack or not.
Yeah. That's John Jones, man. That's the baddest man on the planet. I would not,
But
not give him my spray cans. But
but
that's my 2 cents though, is that for those that are not African American, stop taking it too far and acting like if you're the one racially profiled and vandalizing stores, tagging up stores,
well
because that should
here
not be happening.
well like here's the thing also is has the rioting part of the protest like vandalizing buildings, all that stuff, and everything like that. The looting, I don't think so as much. I don't think that's a problem. I think that's a problem in itself and all that stuff.
Yeah,
But pretty much like buildings getting destroyed and all that stuff and everything like that. Retaliating against like a policeman that does something to them or something like that between
yeah,
in an escalation. Like, is that necessary? It shouldn't it not be and all that stuff in this situation that we're currently in and all that stuff. Because like when you look at it, it's for the fact of like the reason why it's liking this is to get the attention, to let them know of like, hey, like this is something that's been happening. It's like if doing it the peaceful way isn't gonna help, what else can we do and all that stuff and everything like that, like and all that stuff like the fact that it's like there's also points there's been riots happening also along with peaceful protest. People are trying to confuse it with something else entirely, like it's protest overall.
yeah.
But it's like,
I
should there be? Is there a reason to cause the riot in a way overall? Though is what I'm trying
yeah.
to say.
I think too is just like, what do you expect? You know what I'm saying? You've been doing this to black people for so long. What do you think is gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? If you're pushing somebody, like individually, if you're pushing my buttons every day,
Mm,
you don't think I'm ever gonna finally just pop off or lash out? You know what I'm saying?
mm.
And I think a lot of the black community, I think they just had enough. You know what I'm saying? And they're angry. You're angry.
With every
You know what
right.
I'm saying? And it's just like, what else can you do? You know what I'm saying? If you go to school and there's a bully that's constantly bullying you every day, what are you thinking to do? My parents, you know what I'm saying, they're, well, I want to point out which parent told me, but my parents told me like if someone hits you, you hit them back. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, what do you expect? You know what I'm saying? If somebody's trying to bully you, eventually you're gonna fight this bully. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna tell him to stop. You know what I mean? And it's just that I'm not saying, and also we need to also say this as well. Like I don't believe all cops are dirty. All cops are
Oh
are
no,
bad. I don't believe that.
no.
But it's just sad to see the cops that dirty the badge, that was made to protect us. And I
And
do want to go back to the point of the rioting and looting.
mm,
At first, I saw it as like lashing out. I kind of was just like, okay, they're pissed, they're mad, they're gonna just go havoc, and I don't know if I use that word right, but they're gonna go like crazy, and they did. But now, after 3, 4 days later, now people that are looting now, they're not doing it. It's taking away the cause of what was happening. You know what I'm saying? It's taking away the protests of George Floyd. If you're looting just to loot, then you're not contributing to the cause.
Or even
You're
rioting.
just yeah, you're just committing a criminal act now.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And it's just like that. I think people that are vandalizing and looting and and all that, I think they're just taken away from, George Floyd's death. You know what I'm saying? It's a
Exactly.
protest. It's a
Yeah.
protest. What does protest mean? That means you stand up, you have a protest, you
You
speak what you
defend what
feel,
you
you
do.
speak what you defend what you think. But if it's going like if it's just like now just like Stockton
Perfect
riots or
example.
Stockton looting
A
for
perfect
perfect
example.
example.
That happened yesterday, and I seen clips. It's nothing but teenagers. You
Yeah.
don't see an adult. You don't see an adult or anything like that. That was all that happened, all that and everything like that. It was just teenagers. Like that happened, and there's four people try to break into the Walmart, one of the Walmarts here. Three of them were kids. Three of them were juveniles. It's like, where are you trying to get at this? Like, are you taking advantage of a situation that we're trying to help improve ourselves, or are you just trying to make everything worse than it is right now for us? Like,
And I think that's we're at that crossroads now. It's been 4 days later. Now, to my understanding, I believe the cop has been charged
yes,
for first degree murder, right?
it's just the cop, though. That's the thing.
Okay, just the cop. But
It's
I
just the
think
cop that actually
people,
did it.
yeah, I think people want the other three cops to also get persecuted as
And
well.
I agree with that. In all honesty, I mean, how are you gonna have one cop with his knee with his knee on the dude's neck, when the other cop that's like a couple feet away from him and all that stuff, just staring at it. When when people that are either recording it or looking at the situation when it happened is telling him that he's not breathing. It looks like he might not live, and all he says is everything's fine, and all that stuff.
Everything.
Everything's fine. Like, how are you gonna tell that to people when this is literally happening right in front of your eyes right now? And all you
And
can do, and all you can do, and all you're gonna say is everything's fine, dude. That makes you an accessory, right there.
yeah. And I think I don't know if the other three cops just froze or they were just so under pressure that I don't know what they were thinking in that moment,
I mean,
honestly.
like, it's like you're gonna stand there. Like, the best thing you do is like tell the dude, like, hey, maybe placing your knee right there is not the best thing right now, and all that stuff. We have him arrested. He's not resisting he's not resisting at all that stuff because you have him on the ground already, and all that stuff, handcuffed. I mean, maybe loosening the knee would be a good idea right now, and all that stuff. I mean,
Or just taking his knee off.
or
I
just taking
mean,
his knee off. Like, the man is literally saying, "I can't breathe," and all that stuff.
mhm.
And some people may think of that as a simple thing, but no, and all that stuff. Like, have you ever watched Orange is the New Black?
A couple episodes, but not too much.
I am gonna spoil something, and if you haven't seen
Okay.
this, there's it was the final episode of a season, and there's a riot occurring right now at the moment, and all that stuff. One of the security guards has one of the prisoners, the female prisoners, on the ground, like stomachs on the ground and all that stuff, back showing and all that
Yeah.
stuff, and he has like his body on her, and then but what's happening at the same time is that one of the all guard is like hackling him, like trying to like and all that stuff, and all he's doing is this, while at the same time is putting pressure on the person on the floor and all that stuff, not breathing and everything like that. And then as soon as they get to a point where they're able to pull every party apart, dead. It was, it's. I kid you not. When I saw the Floyd video and all that stuff, that was the first thing I thought of, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because the fact of it's like seeing something on television makes you think like that could ever happen in real life. Though that episode was released like while back, like maybe 3-4 years ago, if I want to say. I don't remember exactly, and all that stuff. But the fact that it's like you're like, what the heck? Stuff can actually like that can actually happen in real life, and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
it's just, and it's like, I'm glad they got the cop. Like the cop, that he should have never done that. He had no right to put his knee on him or anything like that. But it's just like, at least the other cops that were there with him and all that stuff, at least the one that was actually with them when that occurred should be charged with something and all that stuff for accessory and all that stuff. And it's just like,
Yeah.
and everything like, because it's just like if someone's gonna, if a regular person killed somebody when someone and they have another person there, that causes that you're an accessory to that murder, no matter what, and all that stuff. I mean, there's a possible chance you're gonna get like maybe a lesser sentence or something, or the same sentence as him at least for being there and not doing anything. That's the point of being an accessory, because you didn't bother to do anything about it and all that stuff. You let it happen and all for that stuff. Unless you're willing to give him up and everything like that for like a deal or something like that when it comes to that kind of stuff. But you just let it happen and you tell everybody, "Oh no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine." Like, no, my man. You don't. That's not cool at all. Anyways, what else I wanted to bring up is for the fact that you mentioned the words already. Does the words Black Lives Matter mean something to you? Because people will come and tell it. Because when you hear, because like I see people that say, I see the tweets, I see everything, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. But I also see the responses that people are saying, all lives matter, and it's like, yeah, all lives would matter if Black Lives Matter, and all that stuff. Like, you can't go to that unless this is happening right, unless something is fixed, and all that stuff right now, which it is not. Like, you cannot say all lives matter when Black lives don't even matter right now at this moment, and all that stuff. When you have a cop just kill somebody, and a president that doesn't even look like he gives a damn, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
To a situation, I was like, we have literally cops. Well, we have literally cops in this area. We have cops, dirty cops, and all that stuff. That would literally have, when that opportunity would probably come to them, they'll probably actually take it, and all that stuff, and for that stuff. And then, like, but just because he's a cop, he has this power to do whatever the hell he wants. Fuck no, and all that stuff. But back to what I was saying, like, hearing Black Lives Matter is a reason why it's something that should be an important thing to say, and all that stuff. Black Lives Matter is for the fact that there are black people in this country that should be equal to everyone else in this country, and all that stuff. We're not no second rate boggle or whatever. I can't think of the words right now, and all that stuff. That's like that can just be like shoot to the side and everything like that, and everything like we matter and all that stuff and everything like that. Like all lives matter can't go anywhere unless Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. Like, you can't. That has to happen first before you can say all lives matter. You cannot say that because you can't say that in a country that's divided as hell and all that stuff. And that's just not with and all that stuff. Like, because we have black people that are dying, we have Hispanics that are getting deported and all that stuff and everything like that, and then a bunch of other things too and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And some Karen's probably gonna come up to somebody and say all lives matter. Like, no, that does not work like that and everything like that and all that stuff. But anyways, the question: Does that phrase, to you, in your opinion, is that important? Should that actually matter and all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, of course, and I think how the way the justice system has been created, it has been created not to care about Black lives. And I get it, I'm saying that how do I want to say this? I just want to say as well is just that, there's a lot of good, African Americans that have been racially profiled, persecuted, and things like that. I mean, no matter the crime any ethnicity does, no one should be um, murdered that way. You know what I mean? And George Floyd could have easily just been put in behind of a cop car and just taken downtown, do what they had to do, and let him go. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it's the factor is that sometimes cops do not treat ethnicities professionally at
Not
all.
at all.
And
Not
it's
at
just
all.
that they violate rights. And
Excuse me.
it's been seen like this across numerous of times, thousands of times. And I'm not against cops. I believe there are good cops out there, but I think there is a lot of cops out there too that do not treat um, ethnicities professionally at all,
Yeah.
and it sucks. You know what I'm saying? I do have a friend that is in the police department, and he's a really cool dude, man. He's a really cool dude, and he's one of those guys that are out there trying to make a change, um, for the better. You know what I'm saying? Like he's trying to improve Stockton to the best of his ability, and to actually even trying to help the community. Now he has a pure heart, man. I vouch for this guy. I won't say his name, but he's one of my he's bro. He's a solid guy, and he's a cop, and he's
Oh yeah.
probably yeah he's a cop for Stockton PD, and he's a real solid dude, and uh and I honestly hope that not just the community needs to be cleaned up, but I think the police department in all counties need to be cleaned up by actually having some kind of consequences to dealing with such things as this. Because when things like this happen, what usually happens to the cops? Either they get slapped on the wrist, they get suspended, or they get fired and they go home. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it's rare to see that even cops are persecuted, sentenced, and have to deal with because they committed murder. He committed a murder, and it is by right that he should be committed to the consequence. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a cop. You know what I'm saying? They were just gonna let him go, or what was the consequence? They just fired him, and that was it.
At first, yeah.
You know,
Like they just
at
let him
first,
go.
and then let him go. That's it. They just let him fight. No, and I think in order to and I think there should be laws or something to hold police accountable at all times. I know they had to even bring in the body cams now to make sure that everything is said true. Is to be the truth and
Well, that's the whole point of body cams in the first place, is to hold
yeah.
cops reliable for anything that happens. Like that's the thing. It's like also it's like, did those cops even have body cams on? If I remember correct, if I don't
I didn't see them have body cams at
see,
all.
see,
I
but
I, I wasn't looking that close.
yeah, but it's like that's the thing about those things, because like there's those are supposed to be there for you, for the cops to be to hold them accountable for what they do in a situation.
Yeah.
As simple as that. Simple as what they were doing with Floyd. Like that should have and all that stuff. But the fact that like there's a pop like cops don't even wear those. It's like what the heck?
But I think they should go a step above and honestly say to all cops, like, look, if you guys kill somebody and it looks like you just killed him on purpose or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There should be consequences.
No,
You know what I'm saying? There
exactly,
should be consequences.
exactly.
But there's not. That's the thing. That's the issue. There's not. You know what I'm saying?
Because
They
they
just
can
fired the guy.
they can just go, and cops can just go off the fact of like, oh, he was resisting arrest, he ran from us and all that stuff, and it's like, just because they do that doesn't give you the point, just doesn't give you the means of murder, of killing the guy and all that stuff,
Yeah.
whether it be by the knee or shooting him in the back and all that stuff. That
Hmm.
doesn't that's not how you apprehend criminals and all that stuff, and especially if it's just something simple and all that stuff. Of course, people are gonna and if they're black, of course they're gonna have a goddamn reason to run. They don't trust cops. No one trusts cops, especially for the fact of what black people have gone through with cops and everything like that. You think shooting them would be? You think either doing something like being aggressive or shooting them would be the best option to stop them? No, you have to make, and like that's the point of, you are here to serve and protect. and that means who that even includes the person you're potentially gonna arrest, probably, and all that stuff, or who you're talking to. Your job is to grab them, put them in, send them to jail, or whatever is gonna happen to them, and all that stuff.
Yeah. And I think, go ahead. Sorry.
I was like, they don't. You're not supposed to give them a reason to run.
Yeah, and I think too, like I've seen too many cops pull out their guns on people that aren't even armed. And I think the only way to unholster your gun, that's like to use it if they actually have a weapon. You know what I'm saying? Do they have a gun? If George Floyd had a gun and pointed it at the cop, he didn't. But I'm saying if he did, then okay, the cop had the right of way to put him down. Sad, but that's how it works.
Or disarm him, like shoot him in the leg or something, so that way he falls and everything like that. Like you don't have, and all that stuff. You can do that too, like and all that stuff, just to let you know and all that stuff. But it's like you shouldn't just straight up just kill somebody. You should
not at all.
Stuff. Like that's not killing someone should never be the first option and all that stuff, unless like the cop is being threatened himself, and now they can take that point to their own advantage, feel like they're already being threatened already, but that makes no sense right there. Like the guy hasn't even done nothing to you yet, and all that stuff, and you think you're feeling threatened just because he probably said something to you, or just like what else? And it's just so stupid.
And I think that's where this is where I mean, and it's hard to say because it's just like we're at that point now. It's like, okay, like what's gonna change? You know what I mean? And I hope they don't just sweet talk us or sweet talk the African people and just to quiet everything down and then go back to business as usual.
No, you're gonna be like our president and threaten us with the military. Get your own countrymen. To get back on the topic and all that stuff. I don't even know where we left off.
Well, I mean, let's introduce the question of after seeing the protests and rioting, what do you think needs to change? What do you think can honestly finally just change? You know what I'm saying? Like what needs to change? And I know that's a big question because honestly, that's something everybody's been trying to answer for a long time now.
It's something that's been talked about since Obama was first president.
Yeah.
Vote. Now people can tell me like, oh, that's it's not that simple. Yes, it is. It's literally what you get. You get a book in the mail. It gives you everything that's happening within your local, state, and federal options and all that stuff. You go through everything that's there and all that stuff and everything like that to make sure of what you think is best for you as a person and all that stuff. And that includes your goddamn president, which, if you don't know, everybody, this year's an election year and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And what have we seen so far? A pandemic and riots. And what has our president done so far? Technically, just sending out the military on us.
Yeah.
And all that stuff.
Go ahead.
It's. I don't get how people don't bother to vote when they know this is their country that they want. This is their country. Like it's called a democracy for a reason, and all that stuff. You want to avoid an authoritarianism? You want to avoid a monarchy or anything like that, and all that stuff? Go out and vote, and all that stuff. And I hear the excuses. Well, I don't want to vote for this person. I don't want to vote for because I don't like this person and everything like that. And this person doesn't help me out with anything. There's a write-in option. You know what this year. You know what I'm doing? I'm not picking Biden. I'm not picking Trump. I'm writing in Sanders. That's what I'm doing. And all that stuff. And you know what else I'm going to do? I'm gonna look at what else I have to worry about within my local stuff, within the state stuff, and all that stuff. So that way, not only I make the country better, but also where I live locally better, and all that stuff. And it's really not that hard. 5 to 10 minutes out of your time, look at every single thing that's there, propositions and all of that stuff. Your local your local city leaders and all that other stuff and everything like that. It's really not that hard.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. Like, you think it's going to waste your time? It's not. It's really not. And you know what? If protest still happens, if protests still keep going the rest of this week, I'm totally fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
And all that stuff, because it is gotten to a point now where it's like, this needs to stop. This shouldn't be like this. This place is called the United States of America, not the divided states of America, not the divided nationality stuff of America, not the white supremacy of America. United States of America. United together. No matter what you are. Black, Hispanic, white, Christian, Catholic, Hoodism and all that stuff and everything like that. Purple, yellow, gay, lesbian, trans, and all that stuff. This is a country that's supposed to be united as one. Not no freaking reality star president that we have right now that doesn't give a damn. And decides to walk out of says that he's gonna send out a military on this country who keeps rioting, and then decides to walk out of the White House, go to a church that got recently got damaged, and takes a photo op with a Bible. Fuck no. The hell is that? No, that's not something that's supposed to be for faith people. For people of faith. The heck is that? No. That, as a Christian myself, that disgusts me. And all that stuff. He wants to take advantage of it and all that stuff, because he knows how that stuff works. And all that stuff. All I'm asking, vote. Vote. Still do the like I said, protest as much as you can, protest as much as you want, and everything like that. Donate to these where people are donating to for such as Black Lives Matter, such as people that are and all that stuff. There's to do that other stuff too, and everything like that. But here's the most important thing: you have a right to vote. You have a right to make change within this country and all that stuff. You have every city hall, state capitol, they have hotlines and all that stuff that you can call to call complaints about stuff about what's happening to you and all that stuff. There's a reason why we talk about we're supposed to be adults and talk about simple stuff like adults, not be whiny little bitches and all that stuff just because one thing's not happening for you right now and all that stuff. Everything you want, everyone. You want to make your life better. You want to make everything better. You want to make sure you're your country's safe for yourself and all that stuff. Vote.
No, and I don't think people understand. I mean, majority of the people understand that voting is literally like how things get done in this country. But honestly, man, and this is just me personally, you know, other than voting, I pray. I mean, that's just me. That's just me personally. As a Christian, and growing up in church, it sucks to see humanity's decisions in everything. Humanity itself, and the core is just evil. You know what I'm saying? Humanity is one is just is evil, and honestly, it's just. I'm not saying that there's no good that can be done, but I think what else that honestly needs to change is people honestly treating people as people, love each other, man. And I know that's honestly the hardest thing to do sometimes because some of y'all are hard to love because some of you guys are just honestly just jerks. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like, and it sucks and it's hard. But honestly, man, as me personally, I try to love all people, no matter your race, no matter your skin color, no matter your sexual orientation. I'm just trying to love on everybody that I know and meet. You know what I'm saying? And I think too many times we have been. I think everybody in this country, everybody as a human being, has just been hurt, and there's so much pain, and we're seeing it now overflow. Right now in our streets, and the best thing we can do is not just vote. If you're a person of faith, pray, and honestly, as a Christian, walk out the deeds of a Christian and actually love on people. That's another thing that bothers me.
Exactly.
That's another thing that really pisses me off bad is that there's too many times I have seen people come into church and people get uncomfortable because they're not the right kind of person or they're not dressing or they're not dressing correctly. Honestly, if you're wearing pants, if we're still stuck on the freaking argument of pants to wear at church, bro, get over it. Get over it. God is not going to send you to hell because you're wearing pants. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry that's coming from a different place right now. And I'm not going to get too deep into it. But if your church is still arguing about whether you should be wearing pants in church, bro, how about y'all talk about y'all be committing gluttony by eating too damn much? That's actually a sin. Stop eating too much. I'm sorry, but I just have a lot of a lot of anger when it comes to Christians. And I'm not saying all Christians are bad, and I'm a Christian myself, but it's just sad to see that Christians are not loving the community. And I'm not saying all churches are like that, but I'm just saying if we are commanded by God to be a blessing to people, this is the perfect time for the church to actually help the community, to actually help people. Where are they at though?
And you mean just by like help, right? Not like try to convert them, right?
No, no, not a convert, but
Okay,
I'm
good.
saying like I'm not saying converting, but I mean helping buy them groceries. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like if you have a food bank, give away groceries. If you have the money to help out your congregation and or even the community or even just help out in some kind of way, shape or form, then do it. There's never been a great platform for Christians, to stand upon and just be like, hey, look, we're gonna give our helping hand. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna feed the homeless. We're gonna, you know what I'm saying? Being a Christian isn't about, what I'm saying, like what sorry, I'm losing my thought, but being a Christian isn't just about wearing the best clothes on Sunday.
Yeah,
Even
right.
being a Christian isn't just going to church on Sunday.
Exactly.
Being a Christian is a lifestyle, bro. It's not a cross you wear on your neck and it's just a style. You know what I'm saying? It's a lifestyle, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You supposed to live it out and love on people, help the community, feed the community. In the early days of the church's job was to take care of the widows and take care of those that could not take care of themselves, bro. That was the church. That was what we were supposed to do. But now, what has it come to? Where is the church at now in the midst of chaos, in the midst of protests, in the midst of a pandemic?
Worrying about opening their churches.
Yeah, now.
I'm sorry. I had to say it. I had to say it.
and this is not me coming against the church, and I'm not coming against the church. I'm not against the church. I'm not saying like, you know, the what I have to say is what I've learned is that the church isn't a building, bro. It's you, you yourself. You're the church, and the church has never been closed. It's been open for business, you know. And I heard a good quote, and I'm not gonna take away whoever said it, um, but I read a quote saying and it, sorry, it's from Pastor Marco. It was in my messenger group I'm in, and they said the quote, and I don't want to take where the quote came from, but what he and I'm probably gonna butcher what he said, but um, was it Pastor Marco from Church FCC, and basically what he said, the church it has always been open for business since you know, Christ has was risen from the dead, or Christ has been came out the tomb. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
You know, and I probably butchered that whole quote, but what I've learned from that is that the church is us. It's us personally. It's us individually. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, when you know what I'm saying, like when I have friends, um, you know, what are they gonna see? You know what I'm saying? And it's just like some of my friends, I'll be the only Bible they ever read, and that's through your actions, how the way you talk, you know. And honestly, and I don't know, man. I have a lot to say, but I don't want to take too much time. But that's just something that's been on my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like that's been something on my heart for a while now. Is that, you know what I'm saying? The church isn't a building. It's you. It's us. You know what I'm saying? If you're a follower of Christ, live it out. You know what I'm saying? If there's a homeless guy that walks into church, don't look at him weird. There's a black guy that walks into church, don't look at them weird.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If there's an Asian person, no matter if there's a transgender, lesbian, gay person that walks into the church, don't look at them weird.
Shake that person's hand.
Shake her hand. Say welcome, welcome, welcome to our church. How can we help you? I don't think I've ever walked in church and like, how can we help you? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's sad. That's sad to say that I haven't heard that. Like, do you need food? Do you need water? And don't and this is another thing I hate. Stop
Here we go.
posting.
Here we
Stop
go.
posting.
Here we go.
My 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 thing is I hate the most is like stop posting your good deeds. Stop. It's unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? Don't be like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, look at me passing out waters. Look at me passing out food. You don't need to post it. You don't need to show yourself shine. Do it just because. You don't need to have a post on Instagram and get likes or
Mm-hmm.
that you're a good person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do it just because. And if you're a Christian of faith right now, pray. Pray for America. Pray for what's happening right now. You know what I'm saying? Go. You know what I'm saying? And for me personally, you know, as a man of faith, you know what I'm saying, I stand with my brothers that are black. You know, I stand where I stand for them. I pray for them. I hear them. I know, you know, I see their pain, and you know what I'm saying, like, and if you're not going to a protest, then donate, give something. You know what I'm saying? Go give them some waters. You know what I'm saying? It's not that hard. And I think the only way that change can come about is honestly, if it comes down to what I just said, is by people just actually loving each other, man. There's been good posters on Instagram that I've seen where like cops actually took off their riot gear and was just like, we're not trying to fight. You
Oh
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? We're and I think that's something that needs to be seen.
Oh,
You know?
that's definitely. And let's stay for the fact like we're not trying to get on the negative part of all this stuff. Like there has been positive stuff out of this whole thing, and
Yeah,
that
definitely.
is like we talked about, like as much as we probably haven't talked about it as much, but like the positive protests, like you do see like people all together holding hands and all that stuff, taking knees and all that stuff, even cops joining in on it and everything like that. I remember I saw the video of one of the sheriffs from Flint, Michigan, joining in with everybody else and all that stuff. He was telling like he doesn't want to protest, he wants a parade and all that stuff. And that's like that is
Right.
that is awesome to hear and all that stuff and everything.
I want to say even the mayor from Florida joined or was walking with the protesters as well.
I don't trust anything from Florida, in all honesty. I'm scared.
No, I want to say that's where it was from. I could be wrong if I'm sorry, but I did see a mayor and chief of police walk with the protesters. I don't know if that was from
Yeah.
Florida, but I've seen that, and I was just like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and there's other reports of like other cops doing the same thing and all that stuff. Cops just talking to the groups and all that stuff, saying thank you for what they're doing and all that stuff and everything like that. So it's like there is no negativity in this whole situation and all that stuff and everything like that. It's just the fact that it's gotten to a point now where it needs to be heard, and it looks like it's about to take a turn for the worse, when it shouldn't, and all that stuff. On a government
Like now, we seeing it's gonna escalate more.
On a government standpoint, in my opinion.
Oh, got it.
And all that stuff and everything like that. As I mentioned earlier, because as of today, on this Monday, June 1st, Trump is over here trying to say like how if stuff goes wrong, if states are not doing their stuff, that to get everything going and all that stuff, to get this all done, like he is going to send in the military and all that stuff to get this all stuff, which is stupid and all that stuff. Like, why would you have the military go after its own people?
I'm just saying things can be de-escalated if people can just finally just put down the weapons and just like, let's talk.
Talk. That's all it is.
Just talk.
Just
hug
talk.
each other. Damn, like, is that so hard? You know what I'm saying? What's so hard about just putting it down and be like, let's talk? If Donald Trump came out and was just like, look, I want to fight. Let's talk. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let's see that.
He would have been everybody. I bet you anything. Everybody would love them after that. They would have been like, okay, like, wow, the president actually wants to talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, he'll get some recognition and all that stuff, but he is still gonna get remembered for most of the stuff he's done in his first 4 years.
As if, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying, if I was a cop and I seen like a mob, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would try my best. You know what I'm saying? If you're like holding a weapon or you're being aggressive to someone that's already aggressive, that's not gonna de-escalate anything. You know what I'm saying? But if you're like, if you come to a person that's already aggressive, like, look, okay, you're angry. What? Let's talk about it. And if they're just yelling, let them yell. If they're cussing at you, let them cuss you out. You know what I'm saying? And let them get it all out without them having to escalate to actually burning burning buildings. But that didn't happen. And I feel like, I feel like everybody needs to take a communication class and talk everything out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's not happening. And there's a lot to what's been happening. But I think in the end, I hope that change comes about. And I hope in the end, the government doesn't just sweet talk everybody and then go back to business as usual. Because then that's just going to cause another ticking time bomb.
But that's the thing, though. It's going to be hard. And I think people need to take a realize of that now. Because I think that's going to be hard now because we are in the middle of a pandemic right now, too.
Yeah. And I think that's, I don't know. I don't know. I think with the coronavirus out there and people just going rage wild, I think...
and that's the other thing that we haven't even spoke of. I don't think some people have. They're gonna be definite. There's a possible chance that those numbers are coming back up of cases.
Oh yeah. Now it sucks because they were gonna open everything up, but now with everybody doing this, I'm not gonna be surprised if there's gonna be huge spikes in the cases.
Yeah. It's like, because it's like, if you realize, like, that weekend, that Memorial Day weekend, like, stuff was starting to get opened up.
Back to normal.
Back somewhat normal and all that stuff. And then, like, all of a sudden...
all hell breaks loose.
All hell breaks loose, pretty much, and everything like that. And it's just like, people are looting, people are doing this, and everything like that. We have protesters at the White House and everything like that. the lights at the White House were off for that weekend and everything like that, which is strange in its own self and everything.
It's kind of eerie.
It really was. Cause I saw the photos. I was like, this
I
is weird.
thought, well,
This is
I saw a
weird.
post that they broke into the White House. I was like, no way, they did not get in. I was like, no
Nah, I
way.
don't think they got in. I don't think they got in.
And I was like, dude, I was thinking to myself, I was like, y'all better be careful because I don't know if they use deadly force once you
But
cross
because
that door.
that's where I'm trying to get at. It's like, what's the point of breaking into the White House when that's supposed to be like the most guarded place ever and all that stuff, and there's like a possible chance you might get shot at.
Oh yeah,
Speaking of getting shot, have you seen photos of people like, cause like what cops are using for these protests and all, these riot cops and all that stuff, they're using
the rubber bullets.
the rubber bullets.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Have you seen like photos of people actually getting shot by them and what and the effects? Oh
Yep,
my god!
I saw a video of a woman that got shot with a rubber bullet and it got lodged into her forehead, like in the middle of her forehead, and someone was like, "Oh my God, is she okay? Like, what's wrong with her?" And dude, you just see the rubber bullet sticking out, and blood is just pouring down her face.
See now,
And she's like unconscious, and she's trying to wipe her face, but
yeah.
she is out. And I
See,
was just like, "Oh my God."
See, now that's the thing. Also, we've talked about it on the protest side of how should they approach this, and how they get aggressive. Same thing on the cop side. Should it get into a point where it's like, yes, there are rubber bullets and all that stuff, and they're using tear gas, but does it get to a? Are you doing that just because they're doing this, or or are they doing it because it's getting to a certain point and it's getting blurry on my end on the camera? Help me out here with the camera.
You're still a little okay.
There
You're
we go.
good. I have okay. From a strategy tactic when things are escalating that bad, and mind you, the crowd was sending in like firework mortars at the police, so they kind of were at fault as well. They were throwing rocks, water bottles, and some people were like, "Well, they shouldn't have used that kind of force." I'm like, dude, I'd rather them use a rubber bullet than an actual real bullet. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like I understand that rubber bullets, they're rubber and it
Yes, and
hurts
it
and
was
they
a
they
safer
cause
route.
damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, they cause damage, and I'm not saying like, it should have been used, but when you're going against cops, they're fearing for their lives too, you know what I'm saying? And so as a, from standing in their point of view, if there's like a mob coming at me and you would fear for your life too, you know what I'm saying? And you would use whatever force you have to make sure that they don't um crowd around you or anything like that. I mean, to be honest, like, and to go clear, should they have to use that force? Um, yes and no. Yes, because I think they use it because they fear for their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Two, no, because you're having innocent bystanders take the damage.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just that there's two things to both sides.
Oh yeah, of course. It's what a time, what a year we've been in so far.
Bro, I say 2020 is like the apocalyptic year of our lives.
It has been something else.
So let's go down the events. 2020. First, you have Third World War, World War III scares
Mm-hmm.
between America and the Middle East. And even
Oh,
I was tripping. I was like, uh-oh. And then all of a sudden, you
Australian
had
wildfires.
Australian wildfires, which was insane. Then you had Kobe and Gigi died,
That
which
is still
still hurts,
still affects to this
still
day.
affected, still affects. That's just insane in itself. I still can't believe it. Then that's when you start having coronavirus coming out, right?
When
Correct?
it, even though it should have started sooner.
Yeah, and then after
Lockdown.
that, yeah, quarantine, and now you have murder hornets coming out.
Is that everywhere
Then,
or is that certain places though?
um, I want to say that they started to spread a little bit. I want to say they were in Washington, and up there somewhere, but they started to spread kind of quickly. So
Ooh.
basically, what murder hornets do is that they kill off honeybees, and I think that's their whole MO.
So their MO is to kill honeybees. How does that affect
I
humans?
want to say I could be wrong, but I think that was the reason why that they can be dangerous. If you kill off the honeybees, there's no one to pollinate the plants or the vegetables or the food.
Okay.
So I think that's why they're considered like to be like dangerous. And they're 2 inches long, and then their sting can or cannot kill you. One of those things. So they're 2 inches. They're huge. Then you have Mr. Anonymous coming out
Okay, he came back just
after three
yesterday.
years.
Just yesterday. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's back that up a bit. So because like he's like the last thing on this list.
Okay. What else came out? Okay, the riots started happening,
Now this, yeah. So pretty much now this.
and now we might be in martial law
That's it.
eventually. And Mr. Anonymous just came out yesterday. And then something else. Oh yeah, the supposedly the government let out alien videos,
Oh
something
yeah,
like that.
the UFO sightings. Yeah.
Yeah,
I did see that.
on another crappy video that we don't know what it is. I'm like, I want to see 4K evidence. I don't want to see this flip phone video anymore. But yeah,
And then also live sport, also sports being canceled.
sports being canceled, economy is being collapsed. What else? Small businesses have been closed.
20 something. I
Uh,
think it's a 20. I think it's like a 20 to 40 something percent unemployment.
yeah, a lot of more than half the country is on unemployment. What else? Hmm. The good thing is gas prices went low. That's all we got.
Like how you gonna? Of course, because no one's driving, because no one has nowhere to go. Pretty much.
Exactly. Yeah. But all that to say is that that's honestly 2020 and it's only May.
June.
If you ruin Christmas for me in 2020, I'm gonna hate you forever. Do not take Christmas from me.
I mean, like, hey, like some stuff is starting to reopen.
Well, we have
It.
to put into to we got to put into now, but is that since everybody was in crowds, we don't know what's gonna happen now. We don't know
Facts.
if spikes are gonna happen. We don't know if we're gonna go into another quarantine.
You would
And
think.
honestly,
Go ahead.
I said honestly, I don't know if America can even handle another quarantine.
No. Not after you see what this first one did to people.
Dude, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, if the quarantine didn't happen, well, I mean, it had to happen. But
Mm.
if the coronavirus never happened, quarantine never happened, and George Floyd this happened, I think people would have been pissed.
No, no, no.
But since everybody,
If
you think it would have riots would have still happened?
no, if Corona didn't happen, but Floyd did, it probably wouldn't get. It wouldn't get to looting as much.
Yeah, that's what
You
I'm
would
thinking. I think.
you would see we would see protests still. We
Oh
would see
yeah, of course.
we see protests still, but it's also for the fact I think looting wouldn't be that much big of a deal. I think it's just for the fact of we are in a state where we are right now in a state with the coronavirus and quarantine things happening. Like people do have get a little on edge and all that stuff and everything like that. And I don't know, I can't say or not it escalated it made this issue more talked about. But then again, you have to, at the end of the day, people are going to say like, well, look who our president is
That's true.
and all that stuff. Like it's like no, I think with this Floyd issue, with or without Corona, it would still be a big deal and all that stuff. No matter what, I think the outcome, because we still don't know the outcome for this as of right now, and all that stuff. The outcome would be what we don't know what it could be and all that stuff. We're still trying to figure that out. Even if it didn't have coronavirus, like maybe it probably would have been probably brushed off like always without the
I
coronavirus. But
yeah.
I think now
I
with,
think
it's just tougher.
I think too is that people. I don't know if this is true or not, but people are kind of in a kind of um entertaining the idea of even a purge. And I was just like, nope, no. If that even comes about, I'm not. No, that's gone too far. You know what I'm saying?
like in all honesty, what does that benefit doing that?
Nothing. Nothing.
Absolutely
It's just
nothing.
people. It's just people's rage has been sitting and festering for so long. This is what you get. Man's violence is literally unmeasured
Yeah, it's like,
when
do
it
you?
comes.
I mean, like, it's like, do you really want to resort to a thing that's like kill that will kill that will ruin people's lives and all that stuff and everything
And
like that?
and I don't know what they mean by the purge. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if they're gonna purge like on Caucasian people or they're just talking about like anybody can get it. So I don't know what their incentive is on that, but either way, I don't think the purge should be entertained at all. That's going too far.
Mm.
Um, but then as well, yeah, that's just going too far. That's just insane. So
It's just
I don't even want to finish out this year, man. I just wish 2020 could just be over right now. Just end in May.
you and everyone else. You
So
and
it's just
everyone
like,
else.
yeah. So I don't know. Also, I don't know if you know, but there's even protesting in Germany, New Zealand, the
Yeah.
UK, and I don't know in Canada. I could be wrong.
I don't. Yeah. Yeah. So our thing is, I mean, it's known by other because like a black. Here's the thing: black people racism and black against black people is not just a U.S. thing. In all honesty,
What? Say that again, Ricky.
racism against black people is not just a U.S. thing.
Yes, then that's the truth.
And all that stuff like it happens in other countries and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
And we
it's
don't even know what they face. I
and
didn't.
like
Okay,
we don't.
honestly, I'm not trying to make a joke, but I didn't even know there was black people in Germany. So
Oh yeah.
I I I, I don't want to be ignorant, but it's just like you don't really hear about that.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's yeah, because it's like I think because of who our country are. Of course, everything's under a
yeah,
microscope, pretty much.
yeah,
It's like
super diverse.
and all that stuff, and we're super diverse and everything like that. And everything. It's just like, but it's just like, it's just letting it like the fact that Trump tweeted something about how like the world is probably looking at us like we're weak because of this and everything like that. It's the total opposite. In all honesty, it is the total opposite and all that stuff. They wanna help as much as them. They just don't care. They just don't care what you say, what he says, and all that stuff,
Yeah,
and all that stuff,
no, I get it.
and everything. It's just like it's crazy. Well, this was I say tough. In all honesty, I thought I had something for this, but it's like it was tough to speak it out more than I thought it would. Um,
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, though, it's like on for to what we want to say. Um, this is an issue that's not gonna end anytime soon, in my
no,
opinion, and it needs like on in all honesty, like it needs to be fixed. Like this needs to change and all that stuff and everything like that. People will probably say it's like this can't be fixed. There's no way for change to happen and all that stuff and all that stuff. But it's like, what's the point of believing it's if you're gonna put it dead on arrival and everything like that? Just because like this has been going on for so many years, it's like why not now and all that stuff. Like, come on, like actually work for let's actually do something about it. Whether for years you're protesting out in the streets, peaceful protests, we hope, donating to certain organizations and all that stuff for this cause and everything like that, and everything, or even if you're like a content creator doing a podcast like we are right now talking about this, because in all honesty, I didn't want to do this at first. I'll be honest, like
yeah.
I really didn't like.
I asked.
Isaac asked, I said no, pretty much, and but I thought about it more and everything like that, and I'm not saying like what I'm saying here is not saying what forced me to do it. It's just more of the fact that it was like it made sense, and I was like, because I'm on Twitter a lot and I do follow a lot of content creators, and they talked about like how for you being a content creator, you should speak out on this no matter how big of your platform is, big or small, and everything like that. And we're not even 10 we're barely hitting 10 episodes in, and the fact that we're talking about this says a lot about this and us doing this. And I was like, okay, maybe it's probably a good thing we do talk about this. Though I will admit, it's like I'm still researching stuff as till this day, because stuff still changes all the time. Everything is still getting up to date of what's happening and all that stuff. And same thing with Isaac too. He's most likely like learning about stuff like this too, and all that stuff and everything like that. Like, and it affects everyone. Like, if you don't believe that something's wrong with you, this affects everyone and all that stuff. It's like, because it's like this is a country that's supposed to be united together,
yeah,
and all that stuff, and we're hating on each other just because of the color of our skin, which is ridiculous, and all that stuff. And all that stuff, and it's sad. It's tough. It is tough for me to speak on this most of the time. In all honesty, it really is, and all that stuff. And I don't know if it's just for the fact that I've never experienced it myself, and all that stuff. And then also at the same time, it's more the fact that it's like you don't want to believe it because you want things to be better, and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, this is real life. This is what we have. This is what happens. This is what people deal with, and all that stuff. And in all honesty, I would want to run on the belief of hope, of make hope, wanting this to work and wanting this to be better, and all that stuff. Will it be? I know it's not going to be immediately and all that stuff, but it's like at the same time, it's like, what's the point of giving up if we don't even try? Stuff. I mean, Colin Kaepernick tried by kneeling during the national anthem. Did he get hate for it? Yeah, but at the same time, he opened up people's eyes about this issue and all that stuff, for this exact issue and everything like that. And it cost him. It cost him his NFL career. It cost him that. But at the same time, he is still fighting that fight to this day. And all I can do is applaud the man for that. Because that's the other thing about this. Like, the other thing I thought of was Kaepernick when he started kneeling and everything. He risked his own football career to promote about how police treat blacks. And it is relevant now than it will ever be, too. And it will be forever in the future if this keeps going. We're gonna close out the episode. All I have to say is this: don't give up. Respect one another. Fight the good fight, as always. Even though I probably sound like I said that twice just now. And don't forget to vote. It is an election year. Here's the thing. Just because he's running again for president doesn't mean he's the best candidate. Just because he's going against someone else that you think, against someone else that apparently is accused of certain things that shouldn't have happened and all that stuff. It's called a write-in option for a reason and all that stuff. If you don't agree with Trump, don't vote for him. If you don't agree with Biden, don't vote for him. There is a write-in option. Put an actual name on there, though. Don't put no Tits McGee or something like that. You are in control of your own life in this country and all that stuff. You have that power and all that stuff. And and yes, it did cause to have the president we have right now. But it also gives us the reason to give us the previous president, and people has their issues with him as much as they do with Trump and all that stuff. But at least that guy, that previous president, gave us something to believe in, at least, and all that stuff, and that's hope. And I remember that, and all that stuff, Sure, people don't disagree with some things he did, and all that stuff. But he gave us a reason to hope, at least, for this country, and all that stuff. The one we have now, I try to give him the benefit of the doubt when he got elected. I really did. Because I didn't vote for him, but I gave him the benefit of the doubt. And look where we are now. We're stuck home in a quarantine with people looting and rioting. And the thing he suggests is to release the military in his own country. How's that protecting your own people? It isn't like, as I said, I'll say it again. 2020 is an election year. November is not that far away now, and all that stuff. Know your candidates, know your propositions, know what's going on. Read that book once that thing comes in the mail for you. Mail-in, you're gonna say we're probably still in quarantine. Mail-in ballots are there for a reason. And all that stuff. Take advantage of that stuff. All that stuff. Your vote does matter if you don't believe that. It really does. And if you don't believe it, like I said again, look who our president is right now. If you don't say your vote doesn't matter, look who our president is right now. And also, I'll say it, and I'll say this again. There's a write-in option. Just because I'm not only saying this because that's the person I'm going for. Just because Bernie Sanders no longer running a campaign doesn't mean you can't vote him in. You can do it as the write. You can put him in on the write-in, and all that stuff, or someone else that you think is a suitable candidate, and all that stuff. Don't put Tits McGee or any stupid name on there because that's not helping. You're only making this country worse when you do that. Isaac, you got something to say? Because I'm about to keep going.
What was that?
You got anything else to say?
I say this. I say this topic is difficult, but is needed to be talked about. I think too is that this issue that has been going on for a long time, and it's a wound that has not been healed at all. Racism has not been healed, and it's a huge wound, and it's been festering for a long time. And I think now we are at a climax. I don't even know even hit the climax of change that needs to be fixed. It needs to be healed. And hopefully now that it can be. Hopefully that change does come about. And I do have to say as well that if you are protesting, keep it peaceful. Keep it peaceful to the best of your ability. Don't riot, don't loot. And if for those that are rioting and looting that are not African American, stop. You just got to stop. There's no reason for you to do that. Just because it just makes the situation look worse, and it looks the African American community look worse, and you're taking away what the protest is all about if you're rioting and looting. So I think that's something that needs to be addressed, and also that needs to end. Yeah, I mean, so I think that needs to be addressed, and and if you are protesting, be safe, be wise, and let your voices be heard, but in hopefully in a correct way. Um, and for those that are people of the faith, people that are Christian, uh, show your support. Honestly, show your support the best way that you can by donating, praying, and and giving a helping hand to the best of your ability. Um, with that to say is that um, I do stand with my brothers and sisters, you know, of all ethnicities. But right now, it's I do stand with my my African brothers and sisters right now, um, because I can't imagine the pain that has been going on for a while, and I would like to say whoever is even watching this is that that even though our platform is small, me and Ricky's platform is small, we are with you, and we stand with you, and that we will even do our best to even give a helping hand, the best of our abilities. So that being said, uh, we love you guys, honestly.
Amen to that. This has been this week's episode of this podcast. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We hope you guys heard us clearly. Um, sure, we probably missed the things here, a few and there, but